You wake before the sun, not because you want to, but because you have to. The air is cool, almost cold, brushing against your skin as you sit up on a woven mat. For a moment, everything is silent. No voices, no footsteps, no heat pressing down on the land. Just darkness and the faint sound of the Nile somewhere in the distance. You step outside. The sky is still deep blue, but the horizon is beginning to change. A thin line of gold appears far away, stretching slowly across the edge of the world. And then it happens. The sun rises. Light spills across the land, touching the river first. The Nile transforms instantly, turning from black into shimmering gold, like a living thing waking up. You've seen this your entire life, and still it never feels ordinary, because everything depends on it. Everything. You walk toward the river, your bare feet pressing into the cool earth. Already others are there. You're not alone. No one ever is. A group of fishermen are pushing their boats into the water. They are small, fragile-looking vessels made from bundled reeds, tied tightly together. You've always wondered how they don't fall apart, but they never do. The men step carefully onto them, balancing as they push away from the shore. Nets are cast into the river with practiced precision. They don't speak much. They don't need to. They've done this every day for as long as they can remember. Nearby, a line of women approaches the riverbank. Each carries a clay jar balanced perfectly on her head. Her posture is straight, her steps slow and controlled. Not a single drop can be wasted. There are no wells in your village, no running water, no easy way. Everything comes from here. You kneel at the edge of the river and scoop water into your hands. It's murky, filled with silt, but you drink it anyway. You always have. You always will. Because this river is not just water, it is life. Behind you, the village begins to wake. Smoke rises from low mud brick homes as fires are lit. Voices begin to fill the air. Children run barefoot through the narrow paths, already laughing, already full of energy. The day has begun, and it will not slow down. By the time the sun climbs higher, the land has changed completely. What was cool and calm is now alive with movement. You walk past fields stretching endlessly toward the horizon. Golden crops sway gently in the breeze. This is harvest season, the most important time of the year. Men and women are already working, bent low over the fields, cutting wheat with curved blades. Their movements are repetitive, almost rhythmic. Cut, gather, tie, again and again. You join them. The work is hard. Your back aches quickly, your hands rough against the stalks, but you don't stop. No one does, because this is survival. Everything depends on this harvest. You glance toward the river. Months ago, these fields were underwater. The Nile had risen, flooding everything in sight. It always does. And when it retreats, it leaves behind something more valuable than gold. Black soil, rich, fertile, alive. That is why Egypt exists. Not because of kings, not because of armies, but because of this cycle. Water, soil, life. But it is never guaranteed. If the flood is too weak, the land dries and cracks. If it is too strong, it destroys everything. Balance is everything, and no one controls it, except maybe the gods. By mid-morning, you leave the fields and begin walking toward the city, Thebes. You don't go every day, But today you have reason, supplies to trade, grain to exchange, maybe news to hear. As you approach, the scale of it overwhelms you every time. The city stretches along both sides of the Nile, larger than anything you've ever known. But it is divided, not by walls, not by guards, but by belief. The eastern side is for the living, the western side is for the dead. You've always found that strange, but it makes sense. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Life begins and ends. On the eastern bank, the city is alive. Markets buzz with activity. Voices rise and fall in a constant hum. Traders call out, displaying goods, grain, fish, cloth, tools. The air smells of bread baking and dust rising from the ground. But nothing draws your attention more than the temples. They rise above everything else, massive, silent, unmoving. Stone walls carved with figures of gods and kings, towers so tall they seem to touch the sky. You stop for a moment, staring. These are not buildings. They are something else entirely, something beyond you. You step into the outer courtyard of one temple. This far you are allowed. Others are here too, offering small gifts, whispering prayers, hoping to be heard. But beyond this point, you cannot go. Inside, hidden from view, something far more important is happening. Deep within the temple, where light barely reaches, a priest stands before a sealed shrine. He has been awake for hours. He has washed himself again and again, cleansing his body completely. Not a single hair remains. His skin is clean, his linen pure, because he is about to stand before a god. He breaks the seal, opens the shrine. Inside is a statue, small compared to the temple, but more powerful than anything outside it. He lifts it carefully, washes it with sacred water, dries it, dresses it in fresh linen, applies oils that fill the room with fragrance, places jewelry upon it. Then he prepares the offering: bread, beer, meat, fruit, laid out carefully, respectfully. He speaks words passed down for generations, words that must be spoken correctly, because if they are not, if the ritual fails, the consequences are unthinkable. The sun may not rise, the Nile may not flood, the world may fall into chaos. Outside, you know none of this in detail, but you feel it. Everyone does. By the time the sun reaches its peak, the heat becomes unbearable. Work slows, then stops. You find shade along a wall, joining others who have done the same. This is the only break you will get. You reach into a small cloth and pull out your meal. Bread. Always bread. Dense, rough, filling. You tear a piece and chew slowly. Alongside it, you drink beer, thick, slightly sour, but refreshing. It fills your stomach, gives you strength. Around you, others eat in silence or quiet conversation. This is enough. It has to be. Not far away, in a place you will never enter, the pharaoh continues his day. Ramesses, a man unlike any other. He wakes before dawn, performs rituals, speaks with priests, listens to reports from across the empire. Gold from the south, threats from the north, disputes between nobles. He decides everything, because he must. He is not just a king, he is the connection between gods and people. If he fails, everything fails. The burden is unimaginable, but so is the power. The sun begins to fall. The light softens, the heat fades, and the city begins to slow. You make your way back home. The path is familiar. The village quieter now. Smoke rises again as evening meals are prepared. You step inside your home. Mud brick walls, low ceiling, cool air. Your family is there. Your wife preparing food, your children talking, laughing, playing. For a moment, everything feels calm. You sit. You eat. Bread, beer, maybe a little dried fish. Simple, but enough. Darkness comes quickly. The sky fills with stars, more than you can count, more than you can understand. There are no lights here, only fire and the night. The village grows silent. People stay inside because the night is not safe.